And welcome back to Campaigns of the Plains. This is Season 2 of our D&D style campaigns. Guys, every Friday we put out new episodes on YouTube for you of our latest campaigns. So make sure to go over there if you aren't already for our podcast listeners. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We do appreciate it. And also down in this general area, you're going to see some socials. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I think we're starting to do some more TikToks on there, so make sure to go follow us at Campaigns of the Plains. But we understand sometimes you can't, pop that YouTube up, but we've got options, don't we, Travis?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas, bitches. You can catch us on your favorite podcast platform. We're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon, bunch of little ones in between. Wherever you can listen to podcasts and music, you can listen to us. So make sure to go to our page and follow us, like us, subscribe, whatever. And make sure that you get notifications every time we release a new episode, which happens to be every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Central Time. That way you can download it before your morning commute. Josh, back to you.
Right. You want to break down what happened last time, Alysia?
I'm not Alysia, I'm a dragon.
Do you want to break down what happened last time, Dragon?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
So I don't even have the right tab open. 'Tis the season. Merry Christmas. I hope you guys are having a good holiday. In our world, it's Halloween.
Wow, way to break the illusion.
Wow, it's Halloween every day in our world.
No,
Can you imagine we dress like this for every single episode?
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Okay, anyway,
sorry.
I titled my
We're gonna
notes
get
The
canceled
Return of Befka.
Mm.
And if you watch the episode, you know what that means. And say Dragon Hand trying to free stuff Becky. Yep, that happened. Good luck bringing Becky back from where she is. What does that even mean? Dragon Daddy equals Oshiroshi. Yes. Kefka possessed Becky's body, therefore becoming Befka. And let's see. Kefka told us to find the lady Becky learned about pact magic from, who she stole the book from. She might be able to help us get to the void to save Becky. Clue. Becky's stuff. Book for bait. Oh, yeah, use the book for bait. Yeah. And I wrote down Gregor Novikov because I forgot his name and I had to write it down again. Ellie tries to concentrate on vision summons and accidentally sets the room on fire. That did happen. Hashtag this girl is on fire. Fire geyser. Phoenix. Oh, I got a Phoenix Eidolon. And I got a new summoner horn that's mine and not one that is not mine, which might be why my summons were broken. The world will never know. The person looking for us showed up and we had to go on a chase scene. Commence chase scene. Elemental chase scene. Gregor and his gun squad saved the day. That's not right.
That's not right.
Boric and his gun squad saved the day. I don't know why.
That's also not right.
No.
No. Wait.
It's Nico.
Yeah, Nico.
How is that the one name I didn't write down? Okay, well, Nico saved the day. Boric is on the throne. Ah, yes. Had help from a figure in a mask. Boric is making an announcement on Milos' dark history. Giant spire erupting from the chives.
Nope.
Tunes. Tunes, maybe?
I mean...
It looks like
not
chives.
Incorrect.
It looks like chives.
It's definitely not chives.
The chives.
Creatures coming from ever since it appeared. They have a restrained creature. It's got 3 heads, and they're all... Dash did a great job explaining and describing it. But it's a chimera, and its body is made out of the same kind of metal that Miko has in his leg.
Nope.
Milos has in his leg.
Uh-huh.
There's Nico.
You tried. It's fine.
I tried. That's really all I can do. That's it. That's all I got.
Yes. So, Osoroshi did appear and did warn you, or rather, well, he did warn you not to try to bring Becky back, otherwise he was going to have to intervene. He did explain to you all that Becky was supposed to be the cause of the next cataclysm.
Not our Becky. She would never.
Not sweet, innocent Becky.
Not sweet. The angel that she is, she wouldn't know how to fly.
But Osoroshi then laughed as he saw that Becky was not alive, and said good luck trying to resurrect her. This left some questions, but yes, Ellie was able to make a pact with the Eidolon known as the Phoenix, and had secured her very own summoner horn. Probably the reason why her summoner magic was having a hard time.
We don't know that for sure.
We'll find out.
We don't...
Mess around and find out.
We don't have the answers.
But after this, there were questions left unanswered, but Kefka decided that he would like to make an appearance, so he took Becky's body for a ride. And yes, Befka was born, and let you guys know that only good little boys and girls get to go to the live stream, and unfortunately, Becky had previously made a pact with a very powerful void being known as Diabolos, and Diabolos had plucked her from the live stream and now had her soul captured in the void. So now the party must find a way to travel to the void, or to somehow contact the void, or pull Becky's soul from the void. Find out what that's going to be. But about then, the geomancers that had been hot on everyone's tail started to use his powers to try to find the group again, and it seemed like they were starting a chase. So luckily there were a lot of trails, but Milos' old friend Nico has a little tiny bot named Beep Beep that showed everyone through the tunnels to Nico and his squad of gunmen, so they were able to save the group from the elementals. Nico then escorted the group to the refugee camp and had told Milos about the spire that had erupted from Milos' home and had been spewing forth monsters ever since, and that his old childhood rival, Boric, had apparently taken the throne in the absence of the queen. Nico then took Milos to the tent where they had one of the creatures restrained in a cage, and yes, it was a chimera with similar metallic body that Milos seems to be growing along his. So, when confronted with that creature, something happened and Milos fell unconscious. So, we will begin there. You guys see Milos as he suddenly grips at his leg, where you've seen that metal growing on his leg, and he, with one hand, like, grips that metal, and then another hand kind of grabs at his head, and he topples over.
Is he dead? Is he okay? Are you okay?
I can't answer you.
Wait, is he unconscious?
He's unconscious.
Oh, no.
I think Gregor would try then shove arms underneath his armpits and hold him up and gently lay him down.
Don't manhandle him like that.
Well, I did not see you trying to do anything.
He's too big. I can't pick him up.
Exactly. I am bigger than Milos. Milos is bigger than you. It makes sense.
Okay.
I am just trying to help. In the meantime, that I am waiting for my answers.
And you see...
I'm gonna summon the Mist Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Next to Milos.
So, you guys see as... Ellie, for the first time, wearing her new horn. The horn itself begins to glow a little bit now as she crooks her hands and a spinning sigil appears underneath Poppy. And this mist seems to emanate from the sigil and covers Poppy wholly, and then in a blink...
Poppy wasn't there.
What?
Poppy was dead.
Alright, Poppy popped! Never mind! A sigil forms on the bare ground, and mist starts to roll from the sigil, and from that sigil, a very pale dragon peeks its head up.
It's Chibi.
Yes, it's Chibi. Chibi dragon.
Chibi Dragon. So then when, when it pops up, I'm gonna reach down and I'm gonna touch Milos and I'm gonna keep healing. I don't have to touch him, but I'm touching him anyway. I'm gonna do healing word at second level. So that's...
Why don't you go ahead and make me a medicine check before you do, as you touch him?
Are you dead? A medicine check?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, you're really good at medicine, aren't you?
He took my word. He took my... I'm not hurt anymore. I'm not hurt basically.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm still good because I've got a pretty good wisdom. So I've got a pretty good wisdom.
And you're not even bending down because basically,
19.
19. You know he's not dead. He's still breathing. He's just...
Heal won't help him, huh?
No, it's not anything that...
Oh! There goes the metal dice. It went far. Oh.
It's not anything that has harmed Milos. It is something that has literally rendered him unconscious. In an unconscious state.
Well...
More dice will help.
I can do greater restoration, and I don't know if that would help with the little cursed thing on his leg. Do I think that would work? Did you find it?
I did.
Honestly, you don't know much about this metal on Milos's legs, so I would say that you don't know whether or not a restoration spell would help.
I'm lying. I only have 4th level spells. I don't have greater restoration. Or a purity. I don't know what that does. Well, I've lesser restoration. I can try it. I don't know if that would help.
You certainly can try.
I'm going to reach down and touch his little metal leg and cast lesser restoration.
Okay.
You're burning a 2nd level spell on me?
It's, yeah.
We can take a nap.
You can do a nap.
You don't get him back on naps anymore.
I never got him back on nap. We're going to take a long nap.
Like a long nap.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, we probably do need to take a long nap.
I'm going to try it.
Okay. So as you reach down and start to channel your magic, the metal on his leg is out. Now, as you are checking, and also part of that medicine check, you see that the metal itself has basically almost wrapped itself completely around Milos's left leg at this point now, and is traveling up his waist on his left side, and kind of spreading across his stomach at this point. And
I've lifted up his shirt. Like, he doesn't wear a shirt.
I don't wear a
doesn't wear a
shirt. I
shirt.
just have my sarong on.
yep.
I'm just not going to remove that because I'm assuming it's all over that.
But yeah, you start to channel that magic, and you see as the red lines that are through this metal start to glow, and that metal starts to spread along his body even further.
Oh! Okay, no magic. Okay, I hear you.
This
Not
is
much.
what I've said. Magic is very dangerous.
What? Yeah, I know. I've almost killed my friends with it.
And yet you still use it so flippantly.
What? I'm not using it. What? Flip? What?
What's that word?
I'm not.
Do you not speak common?
Yes?
Flippant, like without regard for the safety of others.
I know. I regard their safety. I regard it. Sometimes I ignore it, but I regard it.
I do not think that making this man metal is going to
I'm
help
not
him.
sure. I was trying to make the metal go away.
You see Arahati as he's like looking at the metal now along Milos's leg and regarding it. He says, I think it's reactive to magic.
Well, no shit.
No, I mean, we know that your healing magic, it's made things go, and we've seen him cast a few spells as well that have made it go along, but maybe there is some physical thing that we can do instead of magical, but I don't want to harm him.
So, as y'all are talking, I
Just smash a vial on his leg? What are you smashing on him?
I'm gonna try... I'll try a high potion
Try high potion?
for now. It's a little weaker, but that works.
Oh, good. The doctor is in.
He's not a real doctor.
Each passing hour, I just get more confused by your group.
I mean, he's not certified. I don't think he has got like a practice. I mean, he's a... Didn't you read the first book? I lent it to you.
I have not had time.
Oh, that's true. We should just meet you.
Yes,
Literally like 10 minutes
I
ago.
am
We haven't
work-
started. It's in the synopsis. He's a private detective and he solves murders.
Well, that is very
The
impressive.
love interests aren't real, but they make the story feel more, you know?
I accidentally closed my character sheet.
So you're using high potion anyway.
Yeah.
And you're smashing it on the metal portion of his leg, or just on...
Yeah,
Okay. So luckily...
15.
Okay. Luckily, your style of healing is not magically based, so there is no response from the metal. And you see now as Milos kind of sleepily comes back into consciousness a little bit. It's kind of, your head is pounding, Milos. Like, it feels like someone has taken a warhammer to the side of your skull.
Oh, fuck. What? Did I just get hit by a bus? What the fuck was
No,
that?
you've got metal in your leg.
You know that.
And your stomach.
Yeah?
And everywhere else down there, probably. I
And
don't know.
Raha says, you should look. And he kind of points to your stomach as it's grown considerably since you were last conscious.
What? What happened? Did you...
I think you being next to the big monster made it grow more. Are you turning into a big monster?
No, of course not. What? Did you cast a spell on me? You know spell agitates it, right?
Well, I didn't know that
What?
until right now. You never told us that.
Did you not see it grow when I blew up the ship?
I don't pay attention to you all times of the day.
Okay, maybe the observant one should be observant.
I'm not observant.
How? You see...
Maybe we should blow up ships.
Oh, I only look for things that are...
We're all sleeping when he does that.
I only look sometimes.
Yes, magic exacerbates it, but what are my options? It's not like I can just go punch and shit. I don't have a sword.
Well, when it was smaller and still in your leg, we could have just cut it off.
You're gonna cut off my leg?
Well, then it would have been gone, and it wouldn't be causing you issues. You could have gotten a peg lick or something.
No. Why don't we just figure out how to get rid of
Or
it so I can keep my...
mocking. Well, I tried to... maybe a dispel?
What's your passive perception
Maybe
right
more
now,
magic will
Milos?
hurt the helmet?
18. So as you're arguing, you actually look over and see that Nico has not, like, he is stood towards, he's kind of edging closer to the entrance of the tent, and he looks concerned. Not concerned about you, but, concerned about the situation.
I'm missing something. Oh no, it's just in a different color.
I'll look over at him and just kind of meet eyes with him if he's looking at me, and just kind of give him a. What are you doing? What? Why are you slowly making your way to the exit?
You know what this metal does, don't you?
No, I've never. Why would you think I have?
And he says, he kind of tilts his head out of the tent and speaks to one of the guards that had been standing out to one of the sides of the tent, and he says, I think you need to see something. And within a couple of seconds, two larger people, they carry in a third person, and it is a Hrothgar female. And rare enough, this is probably the first time a lot of you have seen a Hrothgar female, as they are pretty rare. And you look down, Milos, and you see that this is a familiar woman. She used to be one of your aunt's closer handmaidens. Mm-hmm. And you look along, and they kind of dump her on the ground and make her sit up, because she is her attention is gone. She is just kind of a shell right now. And she kind of sits back on her knees a little bit, and then is blankly looking around the room. And you see as Nico pulls back one of the sides of her shirt, and you can now see that the metal has grown completely all over her body. And he says, and he points to a little metal band on her that's around her forehead, and he said, we've had to subdue her. Anybody that has this metal blight just becomes ravenous. They attack anyone.
Well, have you found a way to reverse it, or identified its origins? I need to know more about this if we can find a way to get rid of it. I mean, that perhaps you said there were monsters coming from the spire that had it, correct?
Yeah, most of them do.
Maybe there's a way to cure it in the spire.
Perhaps
to find a way to cure it.
Have you guys found any ways to even stave off it growing?
We have found that we can stop it from growing in anti-magic fields, but we can't keep those up forever. Mm-hmm. It eventually will grow, and he tilts her head to the side, and you see as there's a vein of it growing up, and it's in the left side of her eye. Her eye has gone completely black, and the iris is glowing red.
You are going to turn into a monster.
Let's hope not.
We'll have to figure out a way to cure you then.
DM. Does this remind me of any magic tech from the Empire at all?
Go ahead and make me a history check.
Okie dokie.
Why are you out of character? Still on.
Why am I still
Never break character.
I don't break character until I do the DVD commentary.
History? That's 14.
14. You're not familiar with this kind of metal, but there were rumors around some of the R&D divisions going around that some metals amplified certain qualities, usually certain emotions. The ones that the Empire had been attempting to use were ones that, and they would use them in jewelry, bands, something of that sort, basically to nullify fear in their troops. If a troop can't feel fear, they become an even better soldier. And this kind of reminds you of that kind of metal. You only ever heard about it in passing, but you did see it in a report one time that came across your desk, and the properties seem similar. A odd-colored metal with inlays of certain magical ones, but you remember the one that came across your desk was like a silvery type metal with like a blue like a bluish gray kind of light to it, but it seems like it might have similar properties to what you had heard of.
Oh. Well, this metal, it seems very interesting, to say the least. Mr. Nico, we still have business to discuss, but perhaps, and depending on where our paths go, if you're going to look for this spire, it would be best if you had someone with you to provide a little, a muscle.
We're very strong.
Well, I understand, but that chimera in there is very, very strong, and it seems that metal may make it even worse. So I would feel better helping fine citizens like yourself get there and back safely.
Okay.
And you see, as Nico says, that would be good. I do have something for you, and he reaches into the pockets inside of his leather vest, and he produces just a small scroll, and it is sealed with an imperial style seal. The wax having been pressed underneath a ribbon that's wrapped around in the kind of blue and silver fashion of the science division. And he hands it to you and says, this is from Alum, and she left about 2 days ago. She wouldn't tell me what, but she said that when you get back that I should give this to you, so...
Thank you very much. He'll take out a little pocket knife and pop the seal and read it.
So you see as you completely unfurl. You're used to these. Unfortunately, everybody else here is not used to these. And as you break the seal, the scroll starts to light up, and the rest of you actually cannot see the scroll because it is emitting this bright light. But you are able to see, because it is your eyes only, kind of, and it is emitting an aura of secrecy. But it is from Alum Almerith, and she says in the letter, discovered secrets of massive magitech. Buried underneath main church. Have sent summons to HQ. cannot wait. Otherwise, my position will be found out. We'll send future updates. Stay in Alexandria. And then as you finish reading it and roll it back up, you guys see as with a quick flash that scroll is ashes in Gregor's hand.
That's cool.
Yes, it is pretty standard fare for those in higher positions of the government.
What if you forget what was on there? Are you just kind of fucked?
I will not forget. I have been highly trained in these things.
That's really impressive.
Anyway, thank you, Mr. Nico. This trip has been quite good, all things considered. I have met some of the greatest examples of your citizenry, and you are all very nice people. It seems my plans have changed, so I will definitely be able to make that trip to the Spire with you. I have some days to spare.
We're not good examples of the citizenry in this country.
No, they're really not.
Wow!
Our
Well, he's
first
not either.
interaction with them, they were
Listen.
attacking children.
Listen. I didn't attack any children.
You were certainly involved. And
They
she's proud of it.
stole my dad's summoning horn. It's family heirloom that I was using to masquerade as a summoner. But it's okay because I'm an official summoner now.
Oh, sorry. So she was involved in attacking children and also was faking her job.
Okay, well, Uranus Sen just parading around, so...
And
You're
Nico,
just
like,
against the
immediately
law.
is like, what?
Yeah.
It's joke! it's joke!
Nico's really smart.
It's
I don't
joke!
think he's gonna believe.
It's a joke. It's just, I just like to call him that, you know? You're just so unsent. Marquies.
You see it, like, his hand is, like, at his hip, like, on his pistol, but he's looking at you, Milos, and is like...
He's fine.
He's fine.
His hand kind of
He's
goes
got
down.
6 books written about him. He's a famous detective.
Well, we are all with our flaws. It is true. Especially when you all have lived underneath oppressors your whole life, so it is understandable.
What?
The oppressors, the corrupt governments that rule you, it is bound to seep into
Are you
the
talking about the church?
citizenry. A church. I'm sure I have encountered many churches that are very corrupt.
But the church is the government.
Well, then it is extra corrupt.
Are you saying my aunt is corrupt? She's a monarch in charge of my city.
I doubt it very much. There is one monarch.
There's not. I mean, unless you're talking about the Grand Maester, but he's dead but not dead, so...
Oh, no. There's just one true monarch. Others are just...
It depends on what country you're in. There is one monarch in this country, except for she got overthrown, but that doesn't... There's still one monarch in this country.
It is okay. You will learn in time. There is only one monarch.
The Empire doesn't count.
No, the monarch...
The Empire
in the
doesn't really
Empire
have any
counts.
say here.
Does it?
I mean,
This isn't the Empire.
this isn't in the same country. We're in a different country. Did you know you're in a new country? Are you okay? Do you need to have... Does anyone
Yes.
have a map? So I can show him on the map?
Yes, we are in a different country. But really it is just the oppressors who long ago broke away and oppressed you all under their rule. And used to be, everything was Empire.
Oh,
Doesn't sound good.
no, it doesn't.
Oh, the Empire's great.
Are you sure?
I wish I could show you it.
I don't want to go there.
No, it's great. Everyone has job, everyone has food. It is perfect society.
But I have food and a home, and I don't need a job.
Well, you are out in the middle of the desert. You look homeless.
Well, that's because... Well, it's a long story.
I'm sure it is.
I just wanted to live in my tree. And I'm here. And
Oh, see, there you go. In Empire, you don't have to live in tree.
No, but
You can go house.
I have a house.
Her tree. She has a tree house.
My house is built into a tree.
So you live in little child house. Tree.
No, it's a very large house.
It's a very, very, very large house.
It's not that big. There's like 2 rooms and then a kitchenette and a house. It's a nice house.
I'm sure it is.
It's just built into a tree.
My mama built it.
Oh, I'm sure she did, and I'm sure she was a very good mama.
She's still a very good mama because she's still alive.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, enough of this Empire propaganda. Nico.
Propaganda.
I'm
Nico,
confused. I've always been told the Empire's bad.
this isn't the time. He isn't the person to be talking about this with.
Well, I don't know much anyway, so...
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well,
Nico.
mister, I can't go to your homeland because when I go through the mist, it makes me angry.
Oh, it's okay. Someday soon, we will get rid of mist, and then all lands can be one.
That shit doesn't sound that bad, actually.
Debatable. Anyway, Nico. Do you have some place for us to stay? We're dead tired.
Do you have a place that we can safely store our carpet? Just get the wrapped body of Becky there.
That's not a carpet.
He knows it's not a carpet. It's fine. He's seen a dead body before.
It's just not a dead body.
A body without a soul? Is that better?
It's still there. It's just really far away.
Sure.
We gotta go get it. Just look at that.
Yes, we have a tent that you all can use.
Perfect.
Do you have anybody who knows how to resurrect dead people? You had a white mage here? No, probably not.
You know most of the white mages are affiliated with the church,
Well,
right?
so are most of the summoners, but look at who's here right now.
Yeah, and from the sounds of it, you just became a summoner, so you're still kind of skeptical here.
Listen! I don't want to be here, but I'm here.
Anyway, it's late. You all should rest. You can visit the rest of the encampment tomorrow, but tonight we have the borders pretty well managed here and have a couple of spells in place to hopefully shield us from any eyes. So you can rest here tonight.
Hey, are we doing the thing where I can't summon Poppy again until a long rest? Is that
Yeah.
what we talked about? Okay, just making sure.
So, he motions you out of this tent, and since it is rather late right now, it took you guys a while to get through the caves and to get here. You see now, as you're not being rushed into a tent, the size of this encampment. Like, it's not just a small hovel of huts. This is probably about the size of a small city at this point. And there are a number of people cooking over open campfires. You can smell late evening meats being cooked. Pretty decent food, lots of spices in the air. Not a jovial tone to the city or to the little encampment here, but Nico rushes you through a few tents, and there are a couple of guards outside of one, and he just kind of nods his head, and they pull back the curtains for you guys. Inside, there's been a couple of carpets that have been laid out over the sands, a couple of pillow mounds for beds here. So he says, sorry, this is just kind of where a lot of us have been just trying to take a quick nap between fending off the church. So it's not fancy, but I think it'll do.
It's better than a lot of places we've stayed. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll put my paw on his shoulder and just kind of just look him in the eye like, thank you. But also like I would knowing I need to talk to you type of thing. But not right now.
When you do that, he says, "Make sure that you're awake by first light, because that's when Borg said he's going to make an announcement over any sphere that can receive a message." So,
We'll be up. We'll be dead tired, but we'll be up.
try to rest. I'll have what little food we can spare sent in for an evening meal. So, and he kind of just nods to you and then leaves.
We still have some behemoth jerky. So save your food for you.
Do you eat meat?
No.
Then I'm sure you'd probably enjoy a more vegetarian dish.
That would be great. I do have a selection of root vegetables, and I just dump my bag.
At this point in time, they're kind of old.
Oh, well, I took them from Mama's house, so they probably have been in my bag for a little while.
Yeah,
Maybe
for a couple
if you guys want
weeks.
some root vegetables, they're close to done.
He's like, you should probably bury them outside of the encampment.
Okay,
If you throw them away, please.
bury them.
No. Outside.
Start burying them outside of the tent.
I meant okay.
It's fine. The sand and the hot air will preserve them. Probably.
That's not how that
I
works.
don't know how things work here. This is Misty, by the way. The dragon that makes cute noises.
He's like, okay. And he leaves.
I will chase after him and be like, I'll be right back, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. I have to ask Nico a couple things. I'll chase after him, and assuming that we're not amongst a bunch of people, I'm going to immediately ask, are my parents okay?
And he, as you look him in the eye, he immediately, looks down and he says, I don't know, they were with your aunt, and I don't know where any of them are. I've been looking for them, but...
Well, hopefully the queen has Sappho to defend her. Hopefully Sappho will defend the rest of my family. Second, do you know anything about the spire? Have you guys done any reconnaissance? Do you know anything about how defended it is? Are we going into a death trap? I feel like that's where we have to go.
We've sent a couple of drones in. Anytime they get anywhere close to the tower, it seems like they're either picked off immediately by creatures or something happens where they just go unresponsive. We've sent a couple of actual scouts there as well, but unfortunately we've been sent them back, and he motions back towards the tent where you have, and he says, Milano volunteered to go and find the queen, and you see how she came back.
Okay, so this spire or something nearby, maybe the animals, are they infecting people? Is that, the chimera you caught, did someone actually catch that thing? Or how did you manage to
There's
get
no
it?
way. Nobody's seen a chimera for years. I mean, it's rumored that some of them made homes in the caves underneath the sand, but a lot of them were regarded as rumors at best. So either something caught them, or they came up with the spire.
Are you in charge of this encampment, or is there someone else?
I mean, there's nobody in charge right now. It's just everybody fends for themselves, and unfortunately a lot of them are looking to me right now just because I can speak to the Albed, and they are the ones who are providing lots of the machina that are able to keep us safe right now.
I mean, it's good that we're actually working together with the Albed instead of, ignoring them or treating them as outcasts like most people do. But tragedy brings people together.
and he kind of like looks around, and he says he kind of looks to make sure that you're out of earshot from your guys' tent, because he doesn't maybe quite trust everybody there yet. And he says, "You know, I've been dealing with the Albed for years.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't know is they have been planning a coup against the church for about 6 years now.
Oh.
Not to disrupt the church, because some people need that faith, but just to free our country from the oppressive hand. I mean, they never let us raise an army here, fear that we would attack the capital, and we always have to ask them for help monitoring the borders. But yeah, the Albed have been planning this for a while, and he kind of looks around for a second. He motions for you to follow him, and he leads you away quite a ways. Winding through the tents, you almost, if you weren't a geomancer, you would probably lose your way. But he leads you to this tent that looks different from the others, because it, instead of having like the cloth kind of style, it seems to have been like metal and erected from pieces of metal kind of thrown together. And he knocks on the door, and you see like the shutter kind of come across, and two green swirling eyes look at you, and Nico speaks in Albed to them, and the shutter goes closed for a second, and you see Nico kind of look back at you, and he's like, "Just be very cool, all right?"
Be cool.
You know I'm cool.
And you hear a couple of latches, heavy latches, and drawbars being pulled back, and a door opens up beyond, and since I believe you speak Albed, right? You hear this rather large, dark-skinned Albed speak with Nico, and he says, "Leave all your weapons at the door." And he points to him, you, and says, "Him too."
I will take off my bell and my pocket watch, and I guess I have a dagger, but like I don't have a lot of weapons.
Yep, and you see Nico leaves his firearm and his little drone bot at the entrance, as well as bandolier bullets. So the Albed actually looks at you for a second as you like immediately respond to that, like, "Oh, he understands me."
Yeah. Accurate.
And
too.
then he kind of regards you with a little like, "Oh, I need to watch what I'm saying." So he leads you in past another door, and you see that there is someone standing at a large like piece of metal that's been placed on like a couple of like barrels in the sand. And you see that there is a little servitor machina like standing there on the side, and you see there's a light beam like being pressed down, and there is a figure that is standing there with his back to you. He's got his arms out to each side, long drawn back silver hair, and wearing a pair of goggles on his head, and you hear him grunting in Albed to a couple of other figures that are standing kind of at either sides of the table, and he's pointing to the map and saying, "I need you to place sentry units here, here, and here. Oh, also make sure that we double check the tripwires. I don't want any more of those monsters getting past our defenses." And then you see like one of the other there's a female Albed like off to his left, and she kind of clears her throat, and he stops speaking and kind of turns his head just a little bit. You catch the glint of silver of swirly green eyes, and he kind of motions for the other two to go away, and he says, "What can I do for you, Nico?" Without turning to you guys, and Nico says, "This is the one they're looking for." "What do you mean he's the one you're looking for?" "It's the one that Borg thinks is going to be Prince." And he kind of stands up, like cracks his neck, and now you get to see his full figure. He's a very large humanoid male. He's got these broad shoulders and very thick forearms, and you see he's got like fingerless gloves on, but you can see the calluses on his hand. And he now turns around to you, and he has this like yellow and blue kind of jumpsuit on, and he has this tool belt at his side, and turns to you, and he's got this little patch of silvery wisp and a pair of goggles on his forehead, and looks to be like a real broken nose, like he's like fixed it maybe manually a few times. And he speaks to you and says, "So, you're the one that everybody's making a fuss about."
I guess. I don't really know why. It's not like I'm the successor to the throne.
Yeah, well, I mean, we haven't really met formally, I don't think.
Oh, I will, like, fix my posture, because I'm sure I'm, like, hunched over, and I will, like, brush myself off, and I will put my large paw out, assuming that I'll shake hands, and I'll say, "Milos Novak."
He holds out a very callous name, and he says, "Good to meet you. The name's Rin."
Do I recognize that name?
You do almost immediately, as being... He's been one of those famous boogeyman figures for the church for a really long time. Basically, a lot of the stories that have been told about him have been like, oh, he's the one who has been, turning people over to Machina and corrupting them with Machina, and it's rumored that he can summon a Machina from thin air to, skewer you or something like this. There's always some kind of stories about him, basically corrupting most folk, so...
I will raise an eyebrow and say, "How did you manage to find Rin, Nico?"
I've been working for him for the past 6 years.
This is the Albed you've been working with?
Yeah.
I mean, when you go hard, bro.
Well, he's the one who contacted me, and Rin will say, "Yep, when he dug up one of the best treasures I've ever seen in a long time, well..." And he, you see as Nico kind of is like, "Well, I didn't really want to tell him about it yet, but now that you said something, look at this." And he reaches in one of his back pockets and pulls out a sphere for you, and he dials it, and he says, "Look at these. These are going to change life as we know it." And you see that the recording starts in a small, very dark room, and Nico kind of narrates over what's happening as there's no sound to this projection, and he says, "We found it closer to one of the areas to the north there, right on the border of the Empire. I don't think they know about it yet. It's on our side of the mist. So, and he shows you, and this person's walking with the sphere, and you see it in their vision, and then they're like looking over it. It looks to be a very long metal room, and all of a sudden a bunch of lights start to flicker and come on. And he's like, this is the best part. And the sphere turns, and you see this pretty massive machina, probably about as tall as two Hrothgar if they were standing straight up. And you see it for the first time. It is this kind of shimmering black metal that is on it. It has what looks to be two legs and some kind of fins at the top on both sides. And he said, watch this, watch this. And it looks like whoever's holding the sphere like climbs up the side of it, and you can now see that there is a seat or something that looks like a chair where somebody could sit, and some kind of controls in front of it. And he says, look at this. With this, I think we could probably stand up to the church.
What is it exactly?
We haven't really given it a name yet, so but we've been testing it with a couple of different power supplies. Takes a lot of juice to run, but we finally found a crystal big enough, and we got it to power on for a little bit. And when it came to life, we could get it to walk, and that's not it. And he like dials the sphere a little bit more, and you see now as they've gotten it to walk like out into this area. Whoever was recording at the time is in the seat, and you see them walk out into this large metal room, and you can kind of now see that the lights are all on. You can see that there are a lot of these machina like lined up next to each other. And he says, watch this was fun. And he it looks like Nico's hand. He must be the one recording. He pushes a button on the console, and you see as the machina kind of raises up and then like pulls back a little ways, and there is this light that comes from the front of the machina, and it shoots this ball of light at this giant metal door, and it just blasts it in.
Holy shit, that is powerful.
Yeah, I know, right? We haven't been able to get them all up and operational. They've been sitting for quite a long time. This one just seemed like the one to see the least amount of wear and tear, so we're working on it right now, nearby. So,
I mean, if we could get that entire fleet up and running, that would be phenomenal. I mean, if we had any sort of offensive capabilities, how strong is that thing in taking a hit? Have you tested its defensive capabilities?
I mean, anything that we had just kind of sizzled against the armor. We threw a couple of spells at it. I shot it a couple times, and it just kind of bounced off the metal plating, so... And then he says, if we can get them all up and running, I think we'll be pretty powerful, but... And he looks over at Ren, and Ren's like... And he's like, okay, fine. We found one other thing, and this one's actually a little bit closer to here. And Ren's like, this is the best one. It skips ahead again, and Ren is now in some kind of cavernous area. And you see now that he's looking up at something, and it's pretty massive. Something metal. And it starts to fuzz out a little bit, and he kind of hits the sphere a couple times. He's like, sorry, there was a lot of magical interference down there, and you look up, or Rin looks up rather with the sphere, and you see like this shining underside of what looks to be some kind of massive ship.
I'm like, is that an airship?
Yeah, but not like any of the ones that are built these days.
Yeah, does it run on mist?
Mist?
This, stuff?
No, this one doesn't.
Oh. Okay, well, better than the one I had.
You had an airship that ran on mist?
Yeah.
And you burned it down.
Shh, I'm not telling them that.
And you, so you say, that's interesting. Nobody's really found out if mist can be used that way.
I don't know how it worked. I just knew it flew on mist.
Okay, well, this one we need to do a bit more tinkering on, but from what we can tell, we've been able to open up a small hole all the way down there. It's a few feet below the sand for sure, but we were able to open up or get a series of mirrors going, and when we had a full moon, the ship seemed to come alive.
It's run on moonlight?
Well, it didn't really, fly around or anything like that. We couldn't get it powered up or anything, but all of the controls started to seem to kind of come to life. We can't read any of it, but
None of you have comprehend languages.
we've tried it a few times, but for some reason, this one it's taking longer to decipher everything.
Huh. Well, that could be useful for, bringing troops in. I guess I don't know if it could, if it's big enough to hold some of these big machine.
This thing is massive. He's like, I don't know if you can really tell from looking at it from this underside, but we counted in total that there are 3 different levels to the ship. There's also the deck itself, and he says, I think the way the ship is built, that it can modulate somehow. And he says, and he kind of pauses it, and he says, so the ship itself is kind of long like this, but he says, look at these wings. It seems like they might move, and that this portion, and he kind of points towards the back where he's like, this is, I think, where the propulsion is. Like I said, we haven't got it going yet, but it seems like it can change and move. We don't really know what it does, but
I mean, any airship is better than no airship, right? And if it's any big flying machine, right, and it's not subtle, but it'll get a lot of things a lot of places. So yeah, I'm curious to hear more about this. But once I get back from, and I will gesture to my metal bits, after I get this figured out, I feel like this is a little bit more pressing.
So yeah, they're gonna talk to you a bit more about everything and kind of catch you up, but we're gonna cut back to the tent now. What are the rest of you doing while Milos is away?
I am cleaning my gun and sharpening my sword.
Fair
And
enough.
humming to myself.
The rest of you?
I would sit down and take the items that we found in Jojimbo. I don't know who all had what and who, if I would have had it, but I would
I think I picked up the
mask.
not barrel.
Mask or jug?
The jug.
Yep, there's a jug,
Yes.
katana, mask, and dog.
So I'm not sure.
I think
Looking
you
at
took the
dog,
katana.
I did. I
She
feel
took
like
the
you-
dog.
I didn't
Someone
take anything.
took the mask. Maybe you took the mask?
Yeah, I think we gave it to
Okay,
him.
so we're all here. So I would
Yeah.
get all those,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I would sit down and cast ritual cast identify 4 times.
Okay. So the sword. We'll start with that since that's on your person, easiest to get at first.
Yeah.
The sword is a katana, counts as a long sword, so it's a D8 of damage. But this sword has a name.
Oh.
Bob.
Bob sword.
Yeah. and Seth, if you're listening, yes, I did. This sword's name is Hiki, the living flame.
How does Hiki spell it?
Hikki.
Mm.
So, Hiki the Living Flame deals an additional d8 of fire damage.
Every time or surcharges?
So it deals once per turn. And as a bonus action, the sword can actually become a living flame and its damage is then changed from a d8 to a d10. No slashing, just fire damage. And that lasts for 5 minutes.
Once a day?
Mm-hmm.
And then does that act as like a fire elemental like Milos is? Or what do you mean it becomes a living flame?
The flame has a mind of its own.
Oh, so it just does what it wants.
A little bit, sometimes. Which one are you doing next?
We'll do the mask.
The mask.
I assume whoever has the mask.
I think Marquies
I
has
believe
it.
someone gave
Marquies.
it to me.
Yep.
You seem like a mask person. Real mask for mask type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
This one is known as the Mask of Laughing Shadows. When worn, the user's body becomes engulfed in darkness.
Oh.
They have advantage on stealth checks made at nighttime or in the dark. And it also gives them the ability to shadow walk up to their movement speed.
What would that be good for?
Melee.
A rogue.
We don't have a rogue in our party.
Right.
It would be good for almost anyone that's melee.
Mm-hmm.
Asher or Gregor are melee people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do melee sometimes. Yeah.
Oh my god, a bear form.
Bear shadow!
I love it.
Alright, which one are you doing next?
Oh, do the doog.
Do the doog. So, this is known as Daigoro, the loyal companion. As a bonus action, Daigoro can turn into a living dog.
Ooh.
Daigoro can, so he can use his action to find person. If you know the person, he can also find or use locate object. And he can also take one willing creature and transport them to a plane of your choice.
Oh,
Dimension dog.
like one way
Hmm?
or both ways?
There and back again.
Oh, Hobbit's tail.
Yep.
Becky would have liked
The dog or the hobbit?
the dog.
Does he look like Lassie?
Hmm?
Because that would make sense if he finds people.
So
Or
this
Bloodhound.
this dog looks like one of the Shiba Inus.
Oh, yes.
He's a Shiba.
A chibi chibi? The chibi chibi.
Chibi Shibi. And the last one is the jug.
And the jug, I assume it's the fake. It's the
The-
Becky has. Jugs.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
jugs.
yeah.
Yes.
Those fake
Jugs.
Yeah.
Alright. So,
The breastplate of displacement.
this jug has a name. This jug is known as Pandemona's Sanctuary. You are unfortunately, the only thing that you can glean from it is its name, and that it is deploying some kind of pocket dimension style magic. But besides that, no matter how much you focus on this item,
Still.
it just doesn't want to give up its secrets.
Can we open it? You said it's a pocket dimension, right?
Seems like it.
Pandemona's Sanctuary?
Yeah.
That's probably not anything bad. Have we tried opening? We haven't tried opening it, have we?
So just to describe the jug again for you, this is a gourd style double jug, and it has a red rope, twisted, very ceremoniously twisted rope around the top of the jug itself, and the jug is tied in one of the ceremonial kind of knots, and then at the bottom it has that gold coin tied to it, and the jug is stoppered at the top itself with some kind of cork.
What's the gold coin look like? Is it just a regular gold coin?
No, it looks like it has been pressed somewhere foreign.
Should I open it?
I don't know what to name like that. And
I don't know if Marquies is shaking his head no or if he's trying to look at me.
I'm just trying to figure it out.
Just trying to shake it off.
I
Maybe
don't
he's a
think
Swiftie.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Why not?
What
It
does,
says it's a sanctuary. Sanctuaries are of what you say when you need somewhere safe to stay at a true church, right?
No, not always.
Like in
Marquies
that
tries
one
to
book
say
about the
whatever church
hunchback. You guys didn't read the one book about the hunchback? It's a
We don't
class.
know
I don't know.
what this is a sanctuary for.
Maybe it's a sanctuary for us.
I don't know. I didn't get a great vibe from it. It doesn't really want to give up all its secrets. I feel like there's something more to it that we don't know. It's,
Well,
maybe we need to do more research before we so flippantly fuck around with it.
Good word. Word of the
Learn it
night.
from a friend.
okay, well, I'll just hold on to it then.
Okay.
I tie it in my waist belt next to Becky's book and all of my random accoutrements.
She's got a charm bracelet on it, though.
She's got shiny things everywhere. Jewelry, all of it. She's a
Alright.
little magpie.
So, Marquies, are you doing anything?
I'm just going to study some of the various ingredients and stuff that I've kind of found along our journey so far,
Have you
and see
looked
if I
at
can
the
maybe come up with
ingredients?
anything.
Have you looked at the ingredients that came in the bag Riku left behind?
Of not looked at anything. I haven't had a lot of time. We've been a little busy.
Well, maybe you should open the bag and look at it. Maybe there's something new in there.
Maybe there's gash grays in there.
Chocobos. There's not chocobos in the desert.
It's just ingredients.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I can.
Does anybody want a +2 wisdom book? I don't need to be wise anymore.
That might actually help me. I think my cleric stuff is wisdom based, and I have a shitty wisdom.
Here, read this. You have to read it. It takes. You have to read.
Like 24 hours of it?
You have to read 24 hours of it.
I think my cleric's shit is wisdom based.
I got to 7
Cleric is
hours, and then I
wisdom-based.
realized I didn't need to be wise. I need to be charismatic. It's kind of boring, but it'll give you a +2 wisdom when you finish it.
So, Marquies, you're opening the satchel that Riku left behind for you.
Yeah.
So, you open it up. The book is in there that Riku left behind. You already know that it's written in Albed, so you're going to have some help to translate it. There are some Albed in the encampment, but whether or not they're going to be trustworthy, you don't know. Milos has told you, though, that he can read Albed, so I don't know if you want to wait for him.
Now.
Want me to go find him?
No, I'm sure Milos will return when he's done with whatever weird activities.
Is he like an
His boyfriend's right here. Well, I
This
don't
could have
know.
been his old
Oh,
boyfriend.
I don't know if they're official. Are you guys official?
Rati has gone out into the encampment. Like, he's
Oh.
like, I'm going to go check out things.
I want to go meet people.
They're just doing the old tried it.
Right.
So, Marquise, you open up the bag, and apart from a number of herbs and reagents that you find that'll fill out some more of your regular reagents, there is one thing that catches your eye. There are 3 vials.
Oh boy.
Inside of these vials, there is what looks to be purple sand of some sort. Sand or crushed crystalline formation, something. But you hold it up to the firelight that is coming from the lanterns inside this tent. And when you move it, it kind of shimmers chromatically.
Just crap glitter.
Does it hit-
Glitter's
Is it
everywhere.
the hypnotic drink? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to study this to find out what it is?
Yes.
Go ahead and let's have you roll me what? Let's have you roll me just an investigation.
Uh, 22.
22. So
Black on black on red on blood. Can't do any of that.
this, as you are looking at it and looking back on notes from your very own reagent book, this is known as Elementati.
Those are tasty for Christmas.
Like a hot
Winter
touch.
Express, I don't know. We
Wait,
celebrate.
What do they call it in 14?
What?
The Christmas time?
Oh,
Best of something.
The Frost Fest. Good old FF.
We'll have to look
FF
that
and
up.
FF.
I know what it's called in Star Wars.
This
Nerd.
Starlight Celebration?
Starlight Celebration.
That's what it is.
No, it's a long time till Starlight Celebration. You guys are a few months into spring, so
I'm pretty sure it's Starlight Celebration right now.
but
We should do a Christmas episode. Oh, we'll talk about this after.
you
Sorry.
This is meeting.
We'll talk about it later.
this is a very very rare reagent that is said to be the physical manifestation of when an elemental from the element plane manages to break through into the material plane. They leave behind this dust, and it is purposely used to enhance all type of elemental reagent effects. So anything that you mix it with will increase the effects. If it is damage, it will increase the die damage by one of the same type. If it is an enhancement, it will actually increase the time of that enhancement by twice the amount of time. And it can also be used as a substitute in making things like, or elemental aspected things like your White Fang. If you are out of ingredients, you can use White Fang, or use Elementati to make a White Fang. Din, are you doing anything?
Yeah, like right in the middle of the tent where there's nothing and just like spread out.
Just making sand angels.
Yeah.
Pulled back the carpet and like dug into the sand a little bit. Love it.
I like Miss Din. She knows what she wants and she takes it.
It's true.
Especially not letting your antlion out to breathe.
Oh,
A little baby antlion to run around in the tent.
just transform into one, freak people out.
Oh man, this encampment might freak the fuck out.
Make tunnels underneath. It'll be good.
This is normal. This is fine.
You finish your talks, Milos, and you're headed back to the camp. And as you're about to enter the tent, there is this flash of light that you see from coming from within the tent. Like everything in the tent, like appears, like you see shadows on the tent walls all of a sudden, and then you just hear this kind of groaning sound. As you poke your head inside of the tent, the rest of you, moments before, see as this small little tear forms in the middle of the tent, and you actually have to kind of roll out of the way a little bit, Din, and all of a sudden there's just this trickle of, like, black purplish energy that seems to tear the very essence of the air around it, and suddenly a body spills out from this tear, and the tear is again pulled with a pop away from it in a flash. Suddenly, on the ground in front of you is Joker. He looks awful.
Joker.
His robes seem to be singed and cut away, and you see now, for the very first time, underneath his robes, there is, which you had never seen before, some kind of dark armor, and his mask has been smashed halfway away, so he only has like half of his mask on his face now, and his hair has been like singed and taken away, and he is like laying on the ground and groaning in pain.
I was just gonna kneel down and next to him and smush his face and mush the rest of the mask away and smush his face in her hands and cast his healing word at 3rd level.
So, you've all seen most of Joker's face because he has moved up his mask to show you his eyes.
Yeah, he let us look at him.
Yep. But he has never shown you his forehead.
I have never seen this man before.
Gets 9 health.
And I am holding my sword at him.
Some of his, some of the wounds start to heal away. You've never seen this figure before, Gregor, but you've seen this armor. And as soon as Ellie, moves away the rest of the, mask, you see a very familiar, what's called a third eye in your country, on his forehead, this figure. And you have your sword kind of aimed at him, and you, see now armor underneath these clothes, and you kind of, move the robes a little bit. This armor is Galavan armor, and you see this is not just any Galavan armor. This is Royal Galavan armor.
He immediately, with respect, lays the sword in front flat and kneels and says, I am sorry, sir. I did not realize who you were.
Are you okay? Why are you kneeling?
Did Alone send you?
Who's alone?
It is none of your concern.
And you see, as this man, there are 3 people in the Empire that get to wear royal armor. That is the Emperor, the Emperor's son, and then the second-born son. You've seen both the Emperor and the Prince, or the Emperor-to-be, and this is the second son, as you recognize his armor. And you look upon his face now and see that he is Imperial. The rest of you are seeing his forehead for the first time, and you see as there is this kind of what looks to be like a jewel in the middle of his forehead now, as his mask kind of crumbles away, and he's coughing up blood and looking at you.
Yeah, I turn him over and pat his back. Get it all out, man. it's gonna be okay. We'll take care of you.
And he looks around and then looks at Gregor, and he is like, why is he here?
Oh, he saved us from the cave. It's really more nuanced than that, but that's the basis of the story.
And he coughs up a huge blood clot.
Yeah, get it out. That's bad for your lungs.
And he looks around and he is like, Milos, where is Milos?
He went to go and talk with.
Was I walking through the door?
You saw the flash, and you heard the groaning.
I'll come through as soon as I hear my name. What? Oh.
He's right there. Hey, perfect timing.
Do I recognize that as Joker?
You recognize his robes, and there's pieces of his mask, littered about the ground by his face, and you see Gregor's, kneeled in front of him.
What?
And, looking at everyone else, why are you still standing up?
Why are you kneeling? It's so weird. This is just...
It is very improper for you all to not be showing this man respect.
Wow, his ego is not that big. It's big, but it's not that big.
Why are you kneeling to Joker?
This is not Joker. This is one in line for the throne.
What throne?
The throne.
There's not he's not in this country, but he doesn't really look like Milos
He
at all.
immediately looks at you and says, "Do not say my name here."
Oh, what's his name?
Oh, what is
Of
his
course,
name?
my lord. I would never.
Wow.
Damn it!
You're a bitch.
And he looks dead at you and says, "No one must know that I am here. Not father, not my brother."
Of course, my lord. I am here to serve.
And you see now as he
Please
leans
don't
back
let
and
us
he's,
inflate your ego, because we're not doing that.
I wasn't even expecting him to be here.
Well,
And he's holding his side, and he's just like,
Listen, I've got bandages. I start wrapping him up. Pulling him really tight.
Not helpful.
Cleaning the wounds.
And
Please be gentle with him.
He needs to be. You know what? Go over there.
And
In the corner.
he just, before you leave, he's like, he just kind of holds a hand up to you and he's like, Joker. Here I am, Joker.
Yes, Lord Joker.
No. Okay. And
Here you were almost dead, and I pulled a bandage.
And he says, Milos, you can't go to that tower.
You mean the spire?
Don't.
What is waiting for us there that you don't want us to see?
And he looks for a second, and he says, he can't find the words, and he's just like, it's not going to be good.
Okay, well, if we don't go to the tower, do you know how to fix Milos' leg and bot and stomach and side? Because he's turning evil or something.
And he's like on the verge of passing out, and he just says to you, that's what they're waiting for. They're just waiting for you to come back.
So what should we do?
I don't know. And he like, all of a sudden his eyes just
Yep, you take a nap, buddy.
and he like face plants in
I
the
put my
sand angel that
No.
Yeah.
I roll him over and put my sleeping bag underneath his head so that he has a pillow.
Sure.
Is he okay? Please be gentle.
He's fine. And I just like pull the bandage tight.
Just hear grunts, an unconscious
So he
grunt.
stops bleeding. I bandage him all up and tuck up. I swaddle him like a baby.
You see as he has
Prestidigitation his blood off of his body.
he has something in his hand, and just before he passes out, he like looks around the room a little bit, and he looks at you, Asher, and he says, take this, you can sneak into the tower. And like he passes out.
What is it?
You look at Asher and you see now that Joker has a key in his hand. This key has an emerald placed at the end of it. And it looks very similar to your key.
Have we seen him use it before?
Mm-mm.
We should still sleep before we do anything.
Agreed.
So you guys are going to take a long rest?
Yeah, I'll hand wave, telling them what I found out from Nico about like the Machina and the ship, and I'll explain who Rin is and blah blah blah.
Gotcha. None of you have to take watches.
But you shouldn't say it to the Empire guy.
I guess I don't know if Rin is an Empire thing or if it's just like a
Rin's just an Albed.
right. Like I don't think.
No, I mean like because they said that they found those Machina before the Empire does. The Empire doesn't know it exists.
Oh, that's true.
We have link pearls though.
You do not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Most-
raid the body.
Most of
No,
us. do.
Are you taking Becky's link pearls?
Yes, he is ready to go into a tower, and if we get separated, Ellie's fucked.
He's gonna be pissed when she
She'll
wakes
get
up.
it back.
Ooh, wait.
Huh.
I feel like Ellie should have to roll for this because Ellie bought a similar earring so she had matchies. I don't know.
She accidentally put the wrong one on.
Now you said that one looked clearly like cleaner and nicer than the other.
Mm-hmm.
I am kind of curious what Ellie picks.
Yeah.
Okay, which do I have to roll? What do
She
you think?
can't test it.
She could test it, I guess, but will Ellie test it? That's the question.
You have to tune to it, don't you?
You do. But not really. You just have to clip it on and take some time.
Do I have to perception? Is that what I need to roll?
I don't know.
My passive perception is
2 weeks
16.
away.
Why don't we have you roll an
No.
investigation?
Right.
We don't need it. And I was like, well, I think you can
But I'm
use
not
it.
smart. Oh, 16?
It's not bad. You do find 2 earrings in Becky's pack, and you're kind of like,
In her ears, you mean?
what?
In her ears, you mean?
Oh, in her ears, yeah. And you're like, you off of Becky's
Oh, oh.
ears, and you're like, oh.
I'll just wear them both.
Jams them in ears like AirPods.
Ella just puts them in. She takes hers out and she puts them in her holes.
Okay.
And she writes an I'll give it back, I promise, when you're alive again, and puts it in Becky's pocket.
Oh, okay.
Actually, she's gonna slip the bracelet off too.
Oh, the twinning bracelet?
Yes, because I think that might be useful.
Fair enough.
Milos, you're the only other one that has magic. Will you be my twin?
Sure, girl.
Yay!
Of course.
Okay, I give you the bracelet.
This isn't a 2-minute item.
Yeah.
So.
What does it do?
I write Becky another note. I will return it upon you being alive again.
So basically, Becky had the Blackstone bracelet, so any offensive spell that she cast...
Actually, we should maybe switch. I've got the healing one, and I don't do healing magic as much anymore.
I thought I do.
Switch.
switches.
I'll take the black one, and you take the white one.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So
I've said that before too.
whenever you cast healing magic, if the other twinsy says you can borrow a spell slot, and it's the same spell slot, you can bump the magic up to the next level, and then damage magic for Ellie. If she's like, hey, borrow me a first level spell slot, then you can bump it up to the next level magic.
So it just has to be the difference, right? So if it's like a 3rd level and she gives me a 2nd level, it'd be a 5th level? Is that how it works?
No. It's
It's
within one level.
Oh,
so...
it's just a 1st level that.
No, it's within one level. So if you're trying to cast a level 2, you have to provide a 1. She has to provide a 1. If it is level 3, then you're gonna have to split the difference. We'll say who the caster has to 2 and then 1.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Sounds good.
but yeah, within one level,
Up to what we can cast, right?
what you can cast
Yeah.
at a time.
You
Yeah,
can't
obviously.
cast with
Yeah, I can't upcast,
Well, past what we
past
can.
what we are.
Past
like,
what you
We don't
can
have 5th level
cast.
spell
Yeah.
slots, right?
Yeah. I write Becky lots of notes telling her we'll return her items when she's alive again.
Got anything else?
I don't know. I'm not gonna read the body any more than I need to.
I can't. I kind of hope she comes back just to see that reaction. My
She
God.
put it all back on before Becky wakes up.
Kipka just takes over the body and shakes his head. Shakes Becky's head at you. No, I'm kidding.
That's creepy, man. And then, yeah. I wonder if they'll let us leave Becky here while we go explore the tower.
I
Put it on the
mean,
ground.
I can ask
It
Nico.
might be easier than us taking her with us.
Yeah.
And I don't Joker's.
I mean, he specifically said I shouldn't go,
Yeah.
so maybe I shouldn't go.
Maybe. Well, we can talk to him in the morning when he's more lucid. Yeah.
Makes coughing sounds
You're
and
gonna be-
blood spurtles.
I pat him on the head. It's gonna be okay, buddy.
Get
Alright.
a bowl.
So you guys do not have to set a watch. The borders are pretty well protected.
I told Misty to circle the tent.
Little Mist Dragon does some rounds.
Yeah. He doesn't need to sleep or eat or do anything except for walk around, so
Yeah.
he makes noises at people as they pass by.
All right. So you all gain a long rest.
Yay!
Do I have time to read a little of my book?
Yeah, I would say you have about we'll say about 2-ish hours since it's pretty late.
How
at
many
this
hours do
point.
I have to read?
24.
Okay, I should make a page.
And is it within a time frame, like 10 days or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's got
days.
it like.
yeah.
It's like 2 weeks.
Oh, I got to study for the SAT.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's like within 2 weeks.
Oh.
If I remember correctly.
We'll look at
It
it
says
later.
on the book.
Yeah, it literally is a magical item in D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
Okay, if you can send it to me now.
So you all get a long rest. the very next morning, you awaken to a commotion, not like anybody's in danger kind of commotion, but there's a lot of talking outside of your tent. Seems like something's going on outside.
Ellie turns her ears like this towards the.
There's a lot of talking amongst people, kind of loud whispering, kind of murmuring, but you hear things saying, yeah, it's starting. It's starting on every sphere. How are they able to broadcast here? I thought we had... And...
Oh, Milos, they're talking about you.
Oh, well, we probably should tune in and hear what fucking Boric says.
Do we have a spear?
I mean, I'm sure we can go hear a nearby one.
I don't think we have one of those radiant spears.
No. It's the Tome of Understanding, by the way, Eric.
But you all peek outside of the tent, and it seems like there are small open areas between tents, and it's mostly where like the campfires have been, small common areas, and it looks like a lot of them are gathered around one pretty close to where your guys' tent is. So you got to kind of squeeze in, as there are a lot of people here gathered. Milos, the very familiar form of Boric, appears, and not just in the sphere, but it seems like it's being projected. His image large, his voice is booming, and he says, "You all should be ashamed of yourselves, rebelling against the church in this manner when the church has provided succor and protection for the last 200 years. While frauds like the Queen sit upon this throne and plot against those that would protect you. Frauds who try to hide their lineage from you, their shame. Frauds who would claim to be Hrothgar when in fact are some kind of mutts. Frauds like the Queen and your so-called prince. And he then suddenly, Milos reaches down and seems to grasp something with his hand. And suddenly a face appears in the sphere. It's your mother.
Oh.
He has her by the fur on the top of her head. And he says, "Go ahead. Tell them. I've figured it out anyway. I hope he's watching." And she's a pretty hardy woman. The females in your tribe are warriors through and through. Your mother's getting up there in age, and she just kind of snarls through it, and she like spits right in his face, and he just kind of bares his teeth at her and says, "Do it, or we have him killed." And the sphere kind of is able to pick up just a little bit of audio, and you hear your father's voice say, "Don't do it." And then you hear this kind of and your mother's face, like, her eyes dilate quickly, and she just kind of looks down in shame, and she says, "Milos Novak is not my son."
Oh, what?
And he says, "Good, now tell them the rest. Milos is my sister's child."
Ugh.
Oh.
And what else? His father and she doesn't want to say it. She's like, his true father. Tell them about his true father. And she says, he's not Hrothgar. He is chimerical, which means what? It means that he was made, not born. That he has no right to the throne, and neither does the queen. And he throws her down, and he says, and by that right, I invoke myself as king. And then it cuts out. And that is where we'll pick up next episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, every Friday we drop new episodes, so make sure to subscribe so you know when the new ones come out, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.